the wonders of the interwebs to say, yes, we are live. We can see it. Hello, wonderful women of the world. We are so glad that you got the memo and are here joining Jill and myself. Hey, I'm Deb D for part 1 of an interactive, engaging conversation, collaborative conversation about legacy and leadership. So let's all just take a breath together for a minute, because the world right now, there's a lot going on, and it's triggering and it's testing. And we also believe for women, it's agitating and motivating towards what's coming next. And so Jill and I are opening up this series so that we can all, as women, have a collaborative conversation about legacy and leadership. Because it turns up in our world, in the work that we do. We're going to get there with the introductions. In the work that we do, leadership and legacy turn up. In who we are as women, absolutely, legacy and leadership turn up. And we're women who have supported each other in understanding ourselves as leaders and inviting each other to step further into leadership and therefore legacy. But what became really clear to Jill and I when we met yesterday for a very excitable conversation was this is more than us sharing what we know or what we want to invite other women to begin to connect to within themselves. This is a collaborative conversation. So this is what we're inviting. Lean in. Be with us, not only in your, yeah, that's it, Jill, not only in your listening, but also in your curiosities and in your questions. Because this is part 1, and Jill and I are going to be here once a month. We're going live for the next 4 months. That's how big this conversation is for women of the world right now. So for the next 4 months, we're not only going live once a month on either my platform or Jill's, we're also going to be inviting questions and curiosities and listening to women around the world, because Jill and I are global. The work that we do is with women, leadership and legacy, and you are invited, and we are at part 1. So giddy up, let's go. We're going to begin with, I'm just going to tell you, because I like this when I join a live, what are they actually going to be talking about? So I'm just going to frame it. We're going to introduce, so you know who Jill is, you know who I am. Then we're going to answer the question, why now? And then we're going to go to, what is it that we want you to know about legacy that you can't Google? It's not the top note. It's not what everyone's talking about. What's our hot take on legacy? So you can get to know more about me and Jill, but also we're wanting to kind of like turn the soil within you, within your mind, your heart, your soul, with like having your own curiosity around what your leadership and legacy means for you. And here is our commitment. 30 minutes or less, my friends. We are going to be here for 30 minutes or less so that we can all have a really, really beautiful, delicious conversation and then go on outside and do the thing till we can make it real. So giddy up, let's go. Jill, delight us with sharing more about you.
Deb, I just love how you framed all of that. Thank you for doing that. Really, really important that we give people that flavour for what's coming up. I'm Jill Mokes. I am an international business coach on the one hand. I work exclusively with women, and I go very deep into identity work, into who do you need to become to hold the vision you have for your business, for the impact that you want to have. And I do a lot of work around legacy, women who are building legacy businesses. So that's me. That's the kind of arena that I work in. My Substack is called Rewild Your Business as well. So just so that we position that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jill's Substack is Rewild Your Business plus her podcast, which is my Monday mornings. There's a new episode every Monday morning. I live here on the island of Tobago. I walk the beach on a Monday morning, most mornings, but on the Monday morning, Jill is in my ears with
I love
her
it.
podcast.
I love that, Deb. I very often, when you're recording a podcast, you quite often have someone in mind. And because I know that that is part of your Monday morning routine, I often have you in my mind when I'm speaking into that little green dot, It's lovely. I love knowing that it's part of your Monday routine.
Yeah. And this Monday, just gone yesterday, the episode was about collaboration. And so Jill and I are showing you that right now with,
Yeah.
again,
Oh,
Jill
yeah.
goes into the conversation, like what's below the surface of a collaboration. And this is what we also want to do about with this conversation around legacy and leadership. Like we can throw a whole heap of legacy and leadership around and paint the walls with it, but what does it actually mean for women and why now? So before we get into that, if you don't know me, g'day. I'm so pleased to connect with you. I'm Deborah Driscoll, but most people call me Deb D. And I love that. It's not a name I gave myself. It's the name the community gave me, and I'm going to take it all the way home. So I'm Deb D. I'm the founder of the Be Her Collective and the movement of the Gentle Revolution. And I and the collective, we are on a mission to inspire and engage 1 million intuitive heroines worldwide, which means you are a woman who has reclaimed your intuitive wisdom, remember who the fuck you are, and return to your birthright position as heroine of your story and your life. So that's the work that I do, which is how you can see now as Jill and I are speaking, we're working with powerful women stepping into their power, and we're having deep conversations and igniting transformations within these women, which means it happens within us. It happens within us. And yesterday, Jill and I got together to frame this series, and it quickly became clear that this is a collaborative conversation and we've got some things to say. And so let's start. I'm going to flip to you, Jill. Why now? Why in March, as we're about to in the Northern Hemisphere, spring is coming, like we're waking up into 2026. Why now is it important for us to be having this conversation?
First of all, yeah, thanks, Deb. I think before we even think about why now, we need to think about why this. Why is it important for women to be thinking about the legacy of their work, the legacy of their life? Why is that important that women step up? And I think the answer to that is that there is a global movement, and your contribution to this, Deb, and my contribution to this is incredibly important to us, right? You have very boldly articulated what you want to achieve with 1 million women. That's not throwaway words.
No.
That is 1 million souls that you are determined to take on this journey of stepping into their leadership, their legacy, whatever that means for them. And why is it important that we help women do that now? And I think there are some reasons that are so painfully obvious to us right now as the patriarchy crumbles, as the world that's surrounding us is hard to look at, and yet we can't turn away. We're living in a time when things are beginning to change for women. They have been for a while. And I believe, and I think you believe too, I know you believe too, that the time for actively trying to dismantle the patriarchy is passing. It's time for us to now build as women. It's time for us to now talk about and actually embody the impact that we say we want to have. It's no longer time for us to hide behind purpose statements and mission statements and I believe statements. It's time to do the thing. It's time to do the work.
Yeah.
That's legacy. That is actively doing the stuff that creates the impact. I work with so many women, and so many women come into my world claiming this title of being purpose driven, purpose led, impact driven. I see it all the time, all the time. I do a lot of work on brand. I see those words everywhere. And for me, it's about, okay, I love those words. I love them. What do they mean? What are you going to do to
Mm.
create that, to live that purpose, to create that legacy where what the reason that you've been here becomes apparent? So that's for me why now, and the what of what we're trying to achieve. What comes
Yeah.
up for you with that, Deb?
Yeah. And I love how you, again, it's this kind of teasing below where we've been.
Mm,
Like I think women have been invited to step forward,
yeah,
but we've also been stepping forward in a world that still has been held so tight by patriarchal posturing, which
yeah.
is crumbling now. And so then what's our next move? And why does that matter now? You know? And I'm going to go to a completely different place
Oh, I love it.
you went
Do
to.
it.
And I wasn't even sure I was going to go there. But this is what happens when powerful women get together, because we inspire each other to bring something new to the conversation and to the possibilities. But this is where
Absolutely.
I
And Deb, can I offer at this point as well a reminder to the women who are listening, either live or on the replay, collaborative conversation. Come in if you hear something we say and you have a different take or you have something to add to that conversation. That's what we want this to be. So please do it.
please,
Mm,
please, yes, comment or write, restack and write your own
yeah,
note or reach out
yeah,
to us, private message, all the ways that you can. We'll make sure that, I mean, it's pretty obvious here on Substack, but if you're catching it on any other platform, we're going to make it really easy for you to be able to reach
yeah,
Jill and I and to come into more of the conversations, because it's only part one.
yeah. And it's a big conversation. That's why there are 4 parts to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big conversation. And it's also a conversation for now. So as
Mm,
Jill was bringing forward, yes, the patriarchy is crumbling, women are stepping in different ways, and we can start to see that tapestry weaving.
yeah.
But part of the work that I do is I I support women in understanding what is the big collective energies that are happening that support what they're doing or what they're stepping into, right? And most of the women I work with in leadership, they're just like, one woman even calls it Deb talk. She's like, I don't know. When I first started working with you, I didn't know what you were talking about when you were talking about this collective energy, but now I talk Deb talk and I get it, which is a part of my job of
Love that.
translating, like translating what is this kind of bigger energy forecast.
Hmm.
And here, this is my hot take around why now. You may have heard that we are in the early stages of the age of Aquarius. So what does that mean? Age of Aquarius is where the bigger, and oh, my ears are going crazy, which is another intuitive thing. So it's a bigger energy of this age. And when I'm saying an age, I'm talking about 2,000 years, my friends,
Hmm.
right? Which is why we've been waiting and singing about the age of Aquarius since like the 60s, because we've been waiting for this dawning of the age of Aquarius. Now, we've been in, before this, for about 2,000 years, we were in the age of Pisces. We're now in Aquarius, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Pisces first and then Aquarius, because it's when you add it up, when you do the magical maths, you're going to go, oh, I'm talking Deb talk now too. So the age of Pisces is very, like, it was very expansive in terms of spirituality and in terms of how we relate to each other and what we're creating in the world. But the key thing I want to highlight about the age of Pisces is follow the leader. Follow the leader. So in the age of Pisces, we all drank the Kool-Aid.
Mm.
right? And not all of it's Kool-Aid. There's a lot of teachings around spiritual practice, teachings around leadership, teachings around how we organize the world for humanity that we're going to carry forward, right? But in the age of Pisces, we followed the guru, or we followed the man at the front,
Right. Yep.
right? In the age of Pisces, that's what we all did. Like about 2,000 odd years ago, who was born? Happy birthday, Jesus.
Yeah, I was
Just
just
as
going to
one
say.
example.
I was just going to say, Deb, it's no surprise, is it, that in the age of Pisces, that's when the birth of the male-dominated
Yep.
religions happened.
Yep. And when they start to institutionalize it, not only in religion and power and politics and patriarchy, that all happened in the age of Pisces, which is why for about 2,000 years, it's kind of sucked to be a woman and try to be powerful because
Right.
you may be damned or burnt for it.
Yeah.
And now we're in the age of Aquarius, which is why this is an important conversation now, because in the age of Aquarius, there's not a hierarchy. It's across and wide and broad. And so what I believe we're doing in the age of Aquarius, which we've only just begun, and remember, this is a couple of thousand years. So we're the people living now, earthbound, who are just starting to seed this, right? We're seeding it for the future generations. Maybe in a future life you'll come back. Who knows? None of us know. But what we're seeding right now is not a hierarchy. It's across and broad, and it's very future thinking. And the key thing I want people to know is it's not a flip back to what happened before patriarchy. It's creating something new.
Mhm.
That's Aquarius is very forward thinking, innovation, create something new, very community and humanity driven. So that's just begun. The age of Aquarius has only just begun. And we are the people earthbound now who are the first players. We're planting the first seeds of the age of Aquarius, which is why I think it's really important to be in this moment now, particularly as a woman, because after about 2,000 odd years, it's our turn.
It's certainly our turn. I've been hearing a lot of chat in the zeitgeist, I guess, recently, where I'm hearing this kind of accusatory tone around being unrealistic about what the rise of the divine feminine and the things that we believe are happening right now. And I would love to open up that conversation around, are we going to seriously allow any talk of any of that being unrealistic to hold us back from this new age of innovation and finding the new way? I think we've done that for too long. For too long, we've allowed the keeping us in our place to happen. This is the time when
Yeah.
that can't happen anymore. It can't.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this planet won't survive another 2,000 years of the way it's been.
No, it won't. It won't. And that's what the change is. It's like in amongst the change, how do I access my anchor and my agency
Yes,
so I
exactly
can
that.
be active inside it?
Mm-hmm.
See already sparking of new conversations. And as Jill said, we do want to know what's sparking for you. Please reach out to us. Please let us know, because we're here for this big conversation. But I want to also honor that we promised that we would share with you around legacy and what's the hot take that Jill wants you to know from her perspective. I'm going to share also. But I just want to go first to you, Jill, and like, what is the thing that you feel is like vital at the core of legacy for you, not something that someone could Google or know from reading, a short description for women on leadership and legacy? What have you found in your work? What's alive in you?
Yeah, I love that question. For me, there's so much parallel between particularly if you're building a business, you'll understand this. If you're not a business owner, I think you'll understand it, but it might not be quite as relevant for you. But when you are developing your brand for your business and you're thinking about your values and you're thinking about your purpose statement and your mission statement and you're thinking about your brand story and all of those great things that we all need to build strong foundations for our brand, we often miss one very, very important thing. And that is that your brand is never what you decide it is. It is always how other people respond to you, to your brand. That is what determines what your brand is, not what you want it to be, not what you have poured all of your beautiful intentionality into creating. Your brand is always what other people decide it is. You can inform that. Of course, you can be intentional. You can be smart about it. You can be really careful to curate the brand that you feel most aligned with, feel reflects you most accurately, at your most authentic. But at the end of the day, it's the way other people experience you. And legacy is exactly the same. So if you spend time thinking about what is the legacy I want to be known for, why am I here? Why am I doing this work? Why does this matter so much to me? What do I want to be remembered for? What do I want my work to be associated with? You can do your best to pour intention into that. But you need to always remember that it's how you show up. It's the way people interact with you. It's the experience people have of you that will determine your legacy.
Yeah.
And I think that's so special. It's like it suddenly cuts the crap on all of the noise out there. We can just remember that actually, if we can just show up as our most authentic, as our most approachable, accessible, look me in the whites of my eyes kind of realness, that's legacy. That is what is going, people will remember.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah. And what I'm loving about what you're saying is like legacy is now. Legacy
how you're showing
now.
up right now is building your legacy. If
Yeah.
you want your work to mean something, if you mean it when you say that you are purpose driven, impact driven, all of those good words, if you mean that, then you need to know this. Your legacy, your impact, the purpose you are living, it's happening now in every word you speak, write, every piece of content you create or consume, all of it is informing your legacy.
Yeah. And it's embodied.
It's embodied, and it's kind of, it can be a little scary because it's like, oh my goodness, so I need to be super aware of everything I'm doing. But also, that's brilliant news because actually it means you are completely in control. You are completely in control of your destiny life. You don't have to live your fated life. You can live your destiny life in its fullness because it's all within your control. It's how you show up in the little moments of every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And I'll tell you how I know this to be true is because this is a part of what Jill brought alive in me. When we first connected, we were connected by a mutual friend. And when we first connected, we didn't know who each other was. But by the end of the first Zoom call, we were like, I'm going to hang out with you. And our first
team.
Yeah, you keeping you. But our first year together was being each other's guide and coach.
Yeah. We were each other's clients for the first year, weren't we?
Yeah, clients for each other for the first year because what I can do, Jill needed to bring about in herself. And what Jill is speaking about, which is about that brand statement doesn't mean anything unless you're living it. And that you can speak from that place. Like that's what I was stepping into a couple of years ago, which got me to this place here where I'm saying, 1 million women worldwide, let's go. Intuitive Heroines, it's our time. I got here because of what Jill's talking about, because I was working with her to be able to feel that inside me. And some of it was scary, but some of it was freaking exhilarating. Seriously.
Because it's so bloody real. It's so real once you understand that it's not about
So real.
poetic prose, it's real.
It's real. And this is what I want to say about legacy, to kind of yes and everything that Jill's just said. Same. This is what came for me in my experience. So before meeting with Jill, and in the years before, a lot of my work was around grief transformation. This is what I wrote about. This is what I spoke about. This is what I helped women with. But I knew it wasn't mine to keep. I knew it was a chapter for me. And that chapter was leading me somewhere. I just knew that. But I didn't know what was coming. The other thing that I knew, and I've known this for a long time, I was like, I want people to know my name. And it felt really awkward for years to even dare say that out loud. But I knew it. So I'm speaking to all the women out there who you're like, I know my work has impact. I know my visibility needs to really sharpen and broaden because I do want people to know my name. We're allowed to claim that, women.
Yes, we are.
We're allowed to claim that. And then what I invite is then listening. Because I knew that grief wasn't it. I was really good at being a grief guide. I mean, I wrote a book on it, a series of surrenders. Like there's a whole book around grief transformation. It was a big part of my journey, but I knew it wasn't the destination. I knew I wanted people to know my name. That's all I had as puzzle pieces until I continued to step forward into listening to self and also what is the world and the divine world inviting me into. And that's a whole story with many chapters. And if you follow along with me here on Substack or any of the other places where I can be found, then you can start to fill in the blanks. But where I want to get to is this. Like when I say 1 million intuitive heroines, this is not Deb sat down one day and brainstormed. It's not that. I didn't decide. In a meditation, I heard 1 million. This is about 18 months ago now.
I actually remember that happening. I remember you calling me and we had a conversation about that and you were like, I just heard this so clearly.
So clearly. Like all I was given first is 1 million. And I was like, okay, but 1 million what?
Right.
And then it stayed with me and then I opened up more and it was like, oh, it's like 1 million. What they gave me next was like 1 million downloads. And I was like, downloading what? And anyway, it's a long story, so I won't go through the whole story. But where I'm at now, my legacy, which I'm breathing into and bringing to life, and it's not just about me, like Jill said, I'm the leader inviting other women to lead with me. The Be Her Collective is a collective on purpose. There's a whole team of women who are working with me. I love you all, by the way. And we're working together to inspire and engage these 1 million intuitive heroines. But this is what I want you to know. Write this down. I did not decide that alone in my office, in a spreadsheet, or in my journal. It was something that was alive in me, and then it was also met by what is the need of the world.
Yeah, right.
What is the need of the world? And when I met that, it met me, and then it gets really fun because then your legacy can come alive through who you're being and who you are here to be for yourself and the world.
That. I'm so glad you got us to there, Deb, in this conversation because, oh my goodness, that partnering of what is inside me, what is my soul telling me that I'm here for?
Yeah.
And where is that meeting the need of this planet at this time?
Yeah.
Marry those two things. That's your legacy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it means you have that anchor to go back to for your legacy and your leadership, that you are actually supported by the listening and the co-creation. And this conversation's been a co-creation, and we committed to 30 minutes, and I'm keeping that.
We did. Oh, it's so annoying because I could go all day now. That's the problem, isn't it?
But this is the thing. Jill and I will continue. We are going to continue this conversation here in Substack, but also on our email lists, in our podcasts. So stay connected. And we really do. We honestly are asking, what do you want to say about it? Or what questions or curiosities do you have? Because next month, in April, we are back for part 2. And part 2 is going to be framed by you. What do you what is your input? Because Jill and I are listening, because as we just said, in everything we said about legacy and leadership, yes, it's about you, but it's also about all of us. This is a global conversation for women, for our legacy and our leadership. And Jill and I are hoping that it is more than informative. We want it to be inspiring. Well, I also want it to be a little bit uncomfortable and agitating so you can go on outside and do something about it. But we also want it to be a place that can feel like this is how I can step in. This is when my legacy comes alive. This is what this is all about. Jill,
no more compromising, ladies.
Yeah, it's go time. Jill, anything else you want to share with our audience before we say later?
I just want to leave that uncompromising word. I just want us all to stop compromising. Yeah. This is our time now. So please get in touch with us. Tell us how you would like to shape the next conversation.
Yes, we are here. You are here. Remember who the fuck you are. Even if the outside world is challenging you right now, deep inside you know who you are. Stand there, breathe in and believe it to be true. The time is now for women to step up in our legacy and weave the new narrative of the future we are creating right now. What a pleasure. Thank you, Jill. Thank you to our global audience. Stay tuned. There is more coming. But for now, part 1, we are done. Big love, everybody. That's a wrap.